Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were back in a courtroom in Virginia today. The darkest moments of their tumultuous relationship really laid bare in front of a jury and the public at large. One of the most explosive allegations made by Amber Heard, that Johnny Depp sexually assaulted her with a vodka bottle. Johnny Depp's lawyers peppering Heard with rapid-fire questions during cross-examination today, trying to punch holes in her testimony.
I don't remember exactly what happened first, or I don't remember the sequence. I just remember being aware that I was being assaulted by a bottle while I was on the countertop.
So he penetrates you with this bottle. But you don't know how he got the bottle, right?
That is correct.
Okay. And he did that right after he lost the tip of his right middle finger.
Again, I don't remember the exact sequence of those events.
Well, Depp's legal team also accused Amber Heard of editing some of the photos she showed during her testimony. Look, here are the pictures Heard's team showed the court on Monday. The actress alleges this is what her face looked like after Depp threw a phone at her. And here are the images that Depp's legal team showed the court today. His lawyers say she doctored the images to make her face seem redder and more swollen. Amber Heard insisted to the jury she never altered any photo. Throughout much of the courtroom drama, Johnny Depp has appeared to avoid looking at Amber Heard during her testimony. Yesterday, Depp's lawyer said that was because he made a promise to her that he would never see his eyes again. Today, Amber Heard gave a different explanation.
Because he's guilty. Because he knows he's lying. Otherwise, why can't he look at me? I survived. I survived that man, and I'm here, and I'm able to look at him.
Johnny Depp is suing her for an opinion piece in which she wrote for the Washington Post. In it, she calls herself a victim of domestic violence, but never names Johnny Depp directly. Amber Heard's legal team says they'll be calling Johnny Depp back to the stand, closing arguments in the trial set for a week from Friday. Jesse Weber's here, lawyer, host on the Law and Crime Network, and has been covering this from the start. What did you make of cross-examination today?
I thought Camille Vasquez, who was representing Johnny Depp, did such an impressive job, because as much as Amber Heard threw out a lot for the jury to consider, a number of different episodes of abuse, Camille Vasquez now reminded the jury, well, take everything that you heard with a grain of salt, right? The idea that there are stories that don't match up. You've relayed inconsistent statements, and your explanations for a lot of the things that you said in these audio tapes just don't make sense. I mean, Shep, there was an audio tape where Amber Heard is seemingly begging Johnny Depp, don't leave me, crying. And this is the same person who's saying, I was afraid of my life and I was trying to get out of there. And Amber Heard's explanation on the stand was, well, you know, I was afraid that he was going to run out, get drugs, come back and be violent with me. Maybe, but does that make sense? And I think that gave the jury a lot of pause here. On top of the fact, we can't forget that Amber Heard is countersuing Johnny Depp for $100 million, saying he defamed her, and there were weaknesses in those counterclaims because it's not entirely clear that she was hurt from those statements and whether or not Johnny Depp actually authorized those statements.
What about the allegations that the photos were altered? How did that play in court?
So that's really interesting because you have these photos that were, taken of certain instances of alleged abuse, but not all of the instances of alleged abuse. So that was questionable. And these photos were shown, and it seemed to say, well, it's very convenient you took these pictures in this kind of lighting, and yet you have a ton of experience with makeup. You say the makeup covered up all of the bruises, and yet is it possible you used the makeup maybe to make the marks a little bit more redder, or actually used Photoshop to make it appear more red? And I think that was an interesting aspect, and it's at least planted in the minds of the jury that she could have been manufacturing these bruises, because a number of the witnesses we've heard from saw her head first and said, I never saw any injuries on her. So the jury's wondering, who do we believe here?
We're going to see Johnny Depp again, right? What are you expecting there?
So he is being called as an Amber Heard witness, and he is going to testify to all of these instances of abuse that she just laid out, including the sexual abuse. How he handles that is going to be critical for his case. He's of the position that all of this is a lie. So much has been thrown up against him. So he's getting one more chance to take the stand, tell his side of the story, and convince the jury that Amber Heard lied about him, and he never lied about her.
All right, Jesse Weber, thank you.